Well, these are the toilets, public toilets at Gorey. A very popular tourism centre, not on a cold day like today so much. And it's got a sign there for an accessible toilet, and I was going to have a look at that in a moment. I don't know where that is, but it's rather small, but I shall go and see what that is. But these toilets are obviously not very suitable. They got a step there. This is the gents. It wouldn't, if you could get, if you need an accessible toilet, it's not very good. I've been inside, I've taken pictures inside. This is gents. This is the female. It's got a level entrance. You wouldn't get round that corner very easily if you're obviously a wheelchair. We always look at wheelchairs. And it says the nearest alternative public toilet, it says, is at 400 metres. The usual telephone number. The toilet, please contact customer services at gov.je if you want to email them. They're 400 metres. Let's go and have a look at this other accessible toilet, as they're calling it. This is the gents toilet, as you can see. It says mind the step. I don't know quite what you're supposed to do about minding the step. It's nicely and clearly marked, but of course it's a bit difficult for those that have disabilities, mobility disabilities. The entrance in here, if you manage to find somebody to lift you in, it's a bit tortuous round the corner. I dare say you could get round here. Many people could. Traditional gents urinal, of course, a hand wash, and 2 WCs, quite a lot of space around here. But of course the WC is not an accessible one. It doesn't have, it's got an inward opening door, which is bad news. It's got no seat on the toilet. You know, it's utilitarian. The door opens inward, which is bad news, as I say. And there's no wash facility in the cubicle. Of course, those hand towel providers get in the way. That's got a hand flush for the toilet, which, as we all know, with the current problems, it's a problem. I won't take a picture of you, as a gentleman here. Well, here is the accessible toilet, just round the corner. But as it says on there, the notice, the proprietors of Neptune and the Bureau de Change have kindly agreed to act as key holder for this toilet. So you have to get the key. So I might go and speak to them if there's anybody there, I don't know. But these key toilets, they're better than nothing, but they are a pain, aren't they? They are a pain where you don't need a pain. Well, I've spoken to this shop down the road. It's not a shop. I don't know what name they go under. They are the key holder, but they've said they used to get quite a lot of people asking for it, but since the pandemic, it's not really asked for. And they're also, their opening hours are rather limited. They think it would be rather better if the key was held by a pub or something, which has, in normal life, much wider opening hours, late at night and so on. So that she was very helpful, but there were steps up into her shop, so obviously somebody would presumably have to go up steps to get the key, so that she'd have to have somebody with them or knock on the window or something. So it wasn't very satisfactory. So there is no Chamber of Commerce, Bureau de Change. There's no Bureau de Change out here apparently now, so that part of the notice. It's also a small notice. Bear in mind that disability refers to all disabilities. So people have multiple disabilities. They have mobility and sight and hearing, and they do need to use the toilet from time to time. And some people have particular needs to use the toilet because they have bowel disorders and such like. So I must say, so far Gorey is not scoring very highly on the table. I'm going to go down now, if I can get there, to the end of the pier and having a look at the alternative down there, the additional, but it would be an awful long way to go if you needed a toilet. I'd rather doubt if you'd get there down there under normal circumstances. Obviously we've got up here a 13th century castle. These toilets are a slight improvement on the 13th century, but the 400 metres, there's no sign that says on the end of the pier. Well, the end of the pier you've got to walk all the way down there, all along there, behind the bus, over there beyond where the bus is, that's the pier. You can just see the pier beyond, and all the way down to the end of the pier. So there is a toilet down there. We'll go and have a look at it in a moment, but it's not very impressive. If you were unable to get into this toilet here and you need an accessible toilet, it would be an awful long trip to go if you didn't have some vehicle to go all the way down there to get to that toilet. Obviously the cafes here will have toilets, so maybe they'll let you use them, but this is supposed to be a public toilet facility. It's not too bad. It's reasonably, but it's not an accessible one. Oh, over there, that's the end of the pier, where the other toilets are. Just you can't see them, they're hidden behind one of the buildings. So you've got a considerable walk, or you've got a considerable distance to travel to get to here. Under the castle, there's the old 13th century castle. All the parking basically is taken up by fishing activities, boats. So if you come down here, there's a limited area to turn in. So, you'd need somebody. You can't stop here officially because it's all, it's a port area. I'm afraid the ports of Jersey have let it go to a bit of a sad state of affairs. The public, presumably, are still encouraged. These are the advertised toilets. You've got gents, which you got inevitably. It's got a step. These are the gents. And no vehicles, passenger area, it says. I don't know what that means. Now obviously, if you manage to get your wheelchair, it's very hazardous, very difficult. Not a very... and it's awful grotty, isn't it? I mean, it really is. I mean, I suppose you expect that with a industrial activity, but there is this mix of tourism and... you'd never get a wheelchair in there. It's no wash basins, inward opening doors again. These are the aspects of disability design which ports of Jersey obviously are not too bothered about. Or if it is port, I don't think it's infrastructure. Maybe it is infrastructure's care. I don't know what that is. That looks like a fridge parked there. I don't know if that is a fridge. I've got no idea. It's none of my business. I'm just looking at the toilets. Oh, I mean, there's the ladies. I can't go in there. 2 steps up for the ladies. Pumping station in there. Right. So, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, when you're on holiday, you like to go and visit these little port areas. There are cafes down here. There's or at least there were, before the pandemic stopped everything. Lots of fishing activity, but you know, I don't know what that little room is. So I must say it's very disappointing. Neglect. You see, neglect. It used to be a real buzz here. The little boats used to come in from France, the vedettes, and it was a wonderful service. It was busy. The government is too mean to put a customs post here. They won't spend the money on it. The pier, I think, needs work spending. I think structurally it needs money spending on it. But look at that. Look at that for a location, eh? 13th century, 14th century castle. Oh my God, the Americans would pay a fortune. Perhaps we should sell the castle to the Americans so they can put it alongside their London Bridge. That might be something for them, mightn't it? It's very cold and windy down here today, but on a sunny day, who could ask for anything more?